Good evening, viewers. It is a historic Haryana hat-trick for the BJP. The Bharatiya Janata Party has etched electoral history today in the state of Haryana, winning the third consecutive term in Haryana that no government has ever done. And all of that now filtering in on ground at the headquarters of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi. You can see JP Nadda there. JP Nadda was practically the face of the Haryana elections, the BJP outgoing president, and he was the one who was taking forward the campaign of Haryana. JP Nadda there being received by BJP Karyakartas. Dharmendra Pradhan also will be coming in soon. He was made in charge of Haryana. Many say Dharmendra Pradhan could very well be the one taking over from JP Nadda. But this day belongs to JP Nadda today. And he's had multiple meetings through the course of the day when the numbers started turning. But ultimately, JP Nadda or the BJP did not need anyone in Haryana. Unlike the 2019 mandate, they have romped home and stylishly where victory is concerned in Haryana. The Congress still shell-shocked. I want to cut across to Aishwarya Paliwal, who's reporting from the BJP headquarters. Aishwarya, we can see JP Nadda there being received overwhelmingly by the BJP Karyakartas. It was a very last-minute put-together celebrations, but the BJP does it very well each time, this time again.
Right, people, you are right in saying that these are very last-minute preparations that have been done by the Bharatiya Janata Party. But the scope of the celebrations will give you a glimpse of the fact that the party somehow knew that they might win it. They obviously were not expecting to get the number that they have got, but they were confident that they will win it. And what you are seeing now is the celebration, the dhol, the nagaras, the dancing that is also taking place, the Bharatiya Janata Party flags that you are seeing. People with Bharatiya Janata Party flags, even dancing, you are pretty. I'll show you. People have also started dancing now. They are now waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they are all expecting that Prime Minister will address them, speak with them. This definitely is a big win for the BJP, given the fact that the number that they had got in the Lok Sabha elections, 240, not something that the BJP was expecting, but with this Haryana, winning Haryana, they are now looking at all the other elections, all set to come, the state of Jharkhand, the state of Maharashtra, and the state of the national capital, Delhi, also to take place in February. So all those things now lined up, and the celebrations to begin in just some time. JP Nadda already has reached the BJP headquarters. We are now expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach in the next couple of hours.
Well, you are right. The momentum that the BJP will carry forward in the upcoming elections of Jharkhand and Maharashtra is going to be very, very different. If one looks at morale, well, it's going to be very different for the Congress and the BJP. The BJP will go into these two election, viewers, with a clear sense that they actually snatched a mammoth victory, not even small, historic victory from the jaws of what many thought was impending defeat in the state of Haryana. On the other hand, the Congress, which was feeling, thinking, and stating very clearly that they are going to etch history in terms of numbers in Haryana, shell-shocked. Morale-wise, that is not so good news coming in for the cadre of the Congress going into Maharashtra. Even for the Congress, how are you going to negotiate on seats there where you thought you could easily play Big Brother where the Mahavikas Aghadi is concerned? We're going to continue to get you visuals. These visuals coming in from the BJP headquarters. JP Nadda meeting the BJP senior leadership, Karyakartas there. JP Nadda's all smiles. A lot dependent on him. Haryana, he was the face of Haryana at multiple levels. He had addressed multiple rallies. He was monitoring Haryana. Of course, Dharmendra Pradhan, the in charge of Haryana as well. But this victory would be something that JP Nadda would hold very, very dear to his heart. The Prime Minister would be the one who would be leading the victory march or the victory procession, celebration, whatever you might want to call it, at the BJP headquarters. We're going to cut across to that. That's 7:30 p.m. But let's quickly get in reactions from our panelists. Joining me in the studio, Amitabh Tiwari. We also have Sanju Verma from the Bharatiya Janata Party and Adil Singh Boparai from the Congress. Sanju Verma, very good evening. And I have to say, every time you came on my show discussing Haryana elections, Sanju Verma was convinced that the BJP is going to win the state. And that's exactly what's happened, Sanju.
You know, Preeti, thank you for reminding me of our very feisty conversations. I also remember, and this is with no offense to you, I love having constructive engagements with you. I remember you telling me, Sanju Verma, everything aside, the fact is that the momentum is with the Congress party. Preeti, this is with no offense to you, but let me just say that today exit polls should actually take an exit. You know, they have been denounced unceremoniously by the electorate of Haryana. And I even tweeted early in the morning today that Haryana will be the new Chhattisgarh. I remember every political analyst worth his or her salt lost face, lost credibility, saying Chhattisgarh mein dobara Bhupesh Baghel aayenge, and encore. That is what they said for Haryana. Supriya Shrinet, the national social media in charge of the Congress party and the national spokesperson, is on record saying, यदि हरियाणा में बीजेपी 20 सीटें भी जीत गई तो गजब हो जाएगा. They will not even get 20 seats. मैं अपना नाम बदल दूंगी. तो सुप्रिया श्रीनेत अपना नाम बदल कर रख दीजिए. Blabber mouth, motor mouth, बदतमीज श्रीनेत, who has no clue about what is happening on the ground. And what did Yogendra Yadav say? And Preeti, I'm sorry if I'm sounding super confident, but I'm not going to hold back my punches, because God forbid if we had lost elections today, everybody would be writing the obituary of Narendra Modi. I mean, they've been doing that for the last 23 years since he's been in public
It's
life.
your day, Sanju Verma. Why should you hold your punches? It's your day. Why should you hold your punches? And you're right there. Just allow me, because I'll just bring in Amitabh Tiwari, because you touched on the...
30 seconds.
Okay, yeah, make your point.
Seconds,
Make your point.
30 seconds. And also, if Yogendra Yadav is watching Preeti Chaudhary's shows, since her shows are widely watched, he said तीन चीजें हो सकती हैं हरियाणा में. कांग्रेस जीतेगी, या तो कांग्रेस की सुनामी होगी, या तो कांग्रेस को ऐसा बहुमत मिलेगा जो भारत की राजनीति बदल देगी. So yes, भारत की राजनीति में सुनामी आई है, but that tsunami is in favor of double engine sarkar. That tsunami is in favor of pro-incumbency. That tsunami is in favor of the fact, which no journalist failed to catch, that today Haryana is the second largest exporter of basmati rice. Haryana produces 67% of India's passenger vehicles.
Sanju Verma, I'm going to cut you short, and the reason I'm cutting you short is, in all probability, the new Chief Minister designate of Haryana, Nayab Singh Saini, is speaking to my colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu. Listen it.
मैं लाडवा के सभी वोटर्स का दिल से धन्यवाद करता हूं, जो इतना सम्मान मान दिया है. हरियाणा के अंदर जो लाडवा ने एक ऐसा सम्मान दिया है कि मैं दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
पर आपने भी क्या उम्मीद की थी जब ये एग्जिट पोल्स आए? आपके मन में कोई शंका थी, उम्मीद थी?
नहीं थी, कोई शंका नहीं.
आपको उम्मीद थी कि
मेरे को मालूम था
इतना बड़ा
बहुमत. मैंने कहा था, मैं बार बार बोल रहा था, ऐतिहासिक रिजल्ट आने वाले हैं और बड़ा मैंडेट आएगा, और वो वही मैंडेट.
ये बताइए, जिस तरह से हुड्डा साहब ने भी कहा कि बड़ा स्लो सा वोटिंग था, इलेक्शन कमीशन को कंप्लेन करेंगे,
वो आरोप लगा रहे, कोई उनकी बात में कोई दम नहीं है, खारिज कर दिया.
No, one has to give to Nayab Singh Saini. This morning, Kamaljeet, my colleague who's interviewing her right now, in the morning she'd spoken to him, and he'd said it's going to be a mandate which will mirror Chhattisgarh. And practically, many would suggest that's what's happened. Many also suggest this is a sheer tactically won election by the BJP. Because viewers, if you get to the micro detailing and the micro data which is coming in, the independents, rebels, independents, whatever you might call them, have been underestimated by the Congress clearly at a level where over 17 seats have been impacted by them. So one can only look at the math right there on the screen. You can give it and say this was a tactical election won by the BJP, but ultimately it is Jo Jeeta Vahi Sikandar. Sam Dam Dand Bhed. The BJP has got this win in the bag, and this win counts. Amitabh Tiwari, why is it? Because Sanju Verma is saying that exit poll ko exit ho jana chahiye, and many would agree with her, especially after the Haryana results. And, many were still shying off the results of Lok Sabha 2024. But Haryana has always been a very, very tricky state to predict. Why?
Yeah. So it's a nightmare to predict Haryana because if you see in 2014, BJP got 33% vote share and almost similar seats, 47 seats. BJP increased its vote share to 37% in 2019 and it got only 40 seats. There was a hung assembly. Now Congress is increasing its vote share from 28% to roughly 40%, whereas the number of seats it's winning is just 5 or 6 more than what it got last time. It is because of the regional distribution of Haryana. There are 5 to 6 administrative divisions, and all these divisions have different caste or socio-economic dynamics. You have the Ahirwals, you have the Gujars in Faridabad, the Jat land, again the Jats dominating in Hisar, and then you have the Khatri Punjabi and the OBCs dominating in GT Karnal road belt. So what happens is that if you try to extrapolate or make any judgments on the basis of the overall vote share to the seat share by using any ratio or multiple, that is where the pollsters or psephologists seem to have failed. And also, I think the number of women respondents in any exit poll is fairly low. And Haryana being a patriarchal society, you've also gone and done shows. I mean, the number of women responding to surveys is fairly less. And when you try to extrapolate those results or normalize those results, you tend to get it wrong.
All right. So, all of that makes it the perfect nightmare for any pollster and possibly a political reporter. And I must say there were so many out in the field. At best, even with what I heard was that it's neck and neck. Nobody knew that this would be a decisive win for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Might call it tactical, but a win is a win is a win. Adil Singh Bopurai from the Congress also with me. All right, he's joining us in just a short while from now.
But can I just finish what I was saying?
Sanju Verma, yes, you may come in. But if you look at it, Sanju Verma, one might say this is a pro-cumbency vote. But let's look at the micro data, and this is just for the sheer, for a conversation and debate. Because this is tactically won. Look at it, 17 seats, where the rebels and the independent have spoiled it for the Congress.
Preeti, let's be very clear. This is a vote against the divisive politics of Rahul Gandhi. He went around screaming from every rooftop, caste census, caste census. People said, and even your esteemed colleague Rajdeep, I have no personal grounds against him. Jats are disappointed with BJP. Agniveer scheme to flop ho chuki hai. Farmers are disappointed with BJP. There is a Jat uprising against BJP. There is a farmer uprising against BJP. Women wrestlers are disappointed. The sports community is up in arms against BJP. So today, jo kehte hai na, that numbers finally decide whether, a political party has won the mandate or not. And if numbers indeed
But Sanju, can I hold you?
Benchmark?
Can I urge you to hold your thought, and I'm going to bring you right in because I'm just going to cut across and pull in some data. Because you spoke of the Dalit vote, you spoke of the SC vote on, how it went in favor for the BJP. But that's the devil in the details, Sanju Verma, because I'll just turn around and go into the caste matrix there, and I'll touch on the SC vote, which is a decisive 21% vote, where Haryana is concerned. And that is where the Congress has actually done very well, Sanju Verma. The Congress has taken 16 of those seats which are dominated by the scheduled caste community, and the BJP just 13. What is interesting, Sanju Verma, if you actually look at it, it's not so much the Dalit vote, but the OBC vote, which has counter-polarized where the Jat calculation is concerned. And that is actually visible, Sanju Verma, when you look at the map of Haryana, because if you look at this, and you see this entire saffron belt, this is the consolidation in the Ahirwal Yadav belt, all the way down. Then all the other non-Jats vote, you have consolidated in the GT Karnal belt. These were the two areas which you had won in 2019. You did this, and then you picked up, seats where the Jat land is concerned or where the Bagadia area is concerned.
May I come in? Preeti, let me be very clear. You can show high-flying maps on your television screen. I have no grounds against that. You are good at analysis. I, bow my hat to you. But without being offensive, Preeti Chaudhary, the seasoned journalist, had said barely a few days back that Haryana elections are not necessarily a wave election for the Congress, but it is anti-incumbency against the incumbent BJP government.
True.
Today I hope Preeti will say, सब कुछ माफ करो, ये बीजेपी की नरेंद्र मोदी की विक्ट्री है, ये प्रो इनकम्बेंसी की जीत है. And Preeti Chaudhary should also advise her colleague Rajdeep Sardesai, hang your boots, hang your boots. You've gone completely wrong. You've been running a narrative, and when I say you, I don't mean you. I mean your esteemed colleague has been running a narrative against the BJP saying,
Sanjeev Verma, Rajdeep's not here. Sanjeev Verma, 1 second. Rajdeep's not here, so I cannot. No, come on. If he's here, then he's allowed to defend himself. Number one.
Let's move away. No, please let me finish.
Yes, so move away from Rajdeep. You, okay, 1 second, Sanjeev Verma, why, 1 second, hear me out. You said that I said that this is not a wave Congress election.
Give me time to speak.
Ma'am, you've been speaking non-stop. Sanjeev Verma, that's not fair. You've been speaking non-stop. Now, you said that you said 3 days ago, I said this is not a Congress wave election, but there is anti-incumbency. It's a negative vote election. I still stand by it, Sanjeev Verma. And why I say it is because there was no way for the Congress, but I do believe this election has been fairly won by the BJP on tactical grounds. And I actually think that's the case. Ma'am, you have your point of view, I have my point of view. And it's great that we are debating it. I'll just cut across to the BJP headquarters. These visuals coming in from the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters, of course, it's JP Nadda's day. I'll introduce Yashwant Deshmukh, our pollster, C voter, right with us. I also have Rajat Sethi, who's joining us. Live visuals coming in. Amit Shah right now, shortly after tweeting out, attacking Rahul Gandhi, coming in at the BJP headquarters, being received by BJP leaders there. Amit Shah, who'd been fairly, conspicuously silent through the campaign of the Bharatiya Janata Party, through Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir elections today, tweeted out. And you can see that sense of elation where Amit Shah and the BJP is concerned. Rajat Sethi, I want to bring you in because, this is also a fair amount of reaffirmation when it comes down to the double engine that we've spoken of through the course of the day. Amit Shah, very silent through the course of the election. Just about half hour ago, he's tweeted out, congratulating the people of Haryana, congratulating the BJP. What does this really mean where, the double engine euphemism is concerned?
I think BJP, when it entered into its 100-day so-called honeymoon period after getting elected into office for the third time, there were a series of, either mishaps or accidents or one thing. I mean, it was distasteful. It wasn't to the best of expectations that either the Prime Minister or possibly the organization of the BJP would have liked. I think this puts a stop to all the negativity that was piling up for the past 2-3 months. And this allows the BJP to have a fresh start with all its cadres full of enthusiasm. It will give the BJP confidence to even pursue its reform agenda. A lot of commentators around the country have been saying that some of the reforms, like one nation, one election, might be pushed. BJP will not have either the enthusiasm or the bench strength to be able to do that. But I think all such things will have to be reconsidered, and BJP will start to approach each of these topics with renewed vigor. I think that is what today's election results mean for the BJP. Of course, it is going to rally its cadres in Jharkhand and in Maharashtra, and both these states, anyway, they were pretty close. I mean, there was not a done deal, unlike Haryana, what was being talked about. I believe BJP will go into these battles with its upper hand for sure.
Well, you're right there. It's hugely morale boosting there. Let's cut across to Adil Singh Boparai. Adil Singh Boparai, this was supposed to be an election that Congress had to win. Ultimately, this is an election that the Congress itself has lost. Multiple factors coming to the play, Adil. Number one, completely underestimating the strength of rebels, of independents, counter-polarization, and something which should be deeply worrisome and of concern, infighting and possible sabotage.
Well, Preeti, the result is in contrast to what we all saw and what we all heard. The mood was of anger and it was palpable on the ground. You yourself traversed the entire state. So indeed, the results are shocking. Having said this, there have been several complaints from several districts, not just confined to one district, from Panipat, from Hisar to Mahendragarh, how the EVM batteries were at 99% when the voting was going on. It is very sinister. We are cataloguing all these complaints.
We'll come
They
back
have
to
been
that.
carrying on this narrative for the past 3
We've had
hours.
that. Okay.
This
Adil,
cannot go
the fact
non-stop.
is-
No. See,
Adil.
somebody has to call this nonsense out.
Why
You
is
win,
it
there is no
that-
EVM.
why
Did you
is
not
it
check the
that
battery then
question
when they were
was
winning?
asked. That
Why are you
question was
shouting?
asked. Rajat, you
This
just walked
nonsense
in.
has to stop now.
You just walked into this conversation.
But I
It
don't
was
care.
asked.
Each of your spokesperson comes in and starts dabbling into the same issue.
Adil, 1 second.
Did they not check the battery when they were winning?
One second. Calm down.
No,
Rajat
this
Sethi,
is
calm down.
ludicrous to say the
Okay,
least.
calm down.
It is mockery
Adil, the fact was, when Lok Sabha elections, let's just look at Haryana results.
Okay, Lok Sabha,
There
talk
were
about the morning, Preeti.
Exactly, I'm coming to that, Rajat Sethi. Calm down.
Maintain that
There was
neutrality.
the democracy
Please
worked
keep
just
quiet.
fine. Look,
You
one
have
second.
no right
Rajat
to
Sethi.
question the pious
Rajat
process of
Sethi,
our
please
democracy.
calm
Okay?
down.
You
Please
win
calm down.
and you
What's the
lose.
point?
You do it with spirit.
No,
If
one
you do
second.
not have the
One
spirit,
second.
walk
Allah,
out of
okay.
election, go to
The
Pakistan or
fact
anywhere
is,
else.
what's a great democratic process is if everybody gets a chance to speak, Rajat Sethi. Please
This is
allow
the
that.
problem. This
One
is the
second.
problem.
Adil, just calm
this
down.
is how they manage and
No,
support
1 second,
institutions.
Adil, calm down. I'll ask you a very simple question, which I asked your other spokesperson, Mahima, who was with us just a short while ago. The fact is, democracy works very fine during Lok Sabha. There are no problems with the EVM. Till this morning, Pawan Khera was at the Congress headquarters distributing jalebs, laddus, call it what you may. Everything was going perfectly well when the numbers were stacking up in the favor of the Congress. Exactly 2 hours later, when things turned, suddenly there were a problem with the batteries of EVMs. There's a problem with counting. Tantra suddenly became bigger than Lok Tantra. Now, who are we kidding, Adil?
Preeti, shorn of all the propaganda which BJP B team is trying to peddle on national television. You and I both are
Now
not
it
there
is
at
a
the
personal
ground.
demand. I
You
have
know,
to step in.
just
I cannot
screaming.
allow him to speak.
Why
Why
are
the
you
hell should I
screaming?
allow
Why are you
him to speak
screaming?
and peddle
Rajat,
nonsense on live
Rajat, why
television?
are you screaming?
Absolutely not. I'm not going to
No,
stop.
No,
Let
one
me
second.
talk about it.
You
Let
cannot
me
shout
talk
him
about
out.
No,
You
absolutely.
cannot
I
shout
will
him
do that
out.
because he made a personal
Rajat,
remark.
1 second.
He made a personal remark.
Rajat,
Asked him to apologize.
Rajat,
I will not let him speak.
Rajat,
I am in your studios. I won't let him speak.
Rajat,
I
you're
will
not
not let him
allowing
I did
speak.
not even name you.
I won't
Why
let
are
him speak.
You cannot
I
name
will
him.
either he will do
No,
a personal
1 second.
remark.
I don't know. Okay, Rajat,
Let me bring
you
him.
were perfectly
I
fine
am-
in the afternoon.
No, why did he
Please
make a
calm
personal
down.
remark then?
Calm down. Nobody can hear anyone.
I'm
Can
saying
we just
stop him, Preeti.
Can
if
we
he
go
does not
one by
withdraw
one?
his words, I'm
Can
going to
we
step
go
in.
one by one?
I won't allow
Can
him
you
to
allow
speak.
me to talk? Am I allowed to speak or not?
Head on.
Am I allowed to
address
speak or
the
not in
issue
my
head
own
on.
show?
Preeti,
I
address
ask
the
if
issue
you
head on.
allow me to talk.
Please do that.
Rajat Sethi,
Please do that.
allow
Let's
me to
see.
talk. If you've come here to create a scene,
Please
don't
do that.
that.
Let me see.
1 second. 1 second. If you've allowed here to, if you've come
I'm
here,
giving you 1
if
minute.
you
You either
have
clarify
come
or I
here,
walk out.
Rajat Sethi, if you've come here to scream or to stage a walkout on television, you're free to do so. If you've come here as a guest, respect
Please
the sanctity
clarify what
of
he
this
said.
stage.
Was it correct
If you
or not?
allow even
I've
the
given you enough time. Don't talk to me. Talk
if
to
you
him.
allow the moderator to talk every time I speak to him, you're screaming sitting next to me. That will not be done on this show. 1 second. Adil, let me come to you. Please respect the sanctity of the guests who are here. Do
didn't
not
name
get
anybody.
into personal
Why is
attacks,
he
number
getting
one.
so anxious and
Number
defensive?
two,
Why didn't name
coming
anybody?
back to the question, Adil. Please steer clear of every personal attack that you're making. Steer clear of that. Coming back to the question, please address it. Suddenly, democracy is dead. Till the morning, it was alive and kicking.
I'll respond. You and I are both not there at the booth. You and I both are sitting in Delhi. The fact of the matter is we are getting reports and we've given a representation. We are cataloguing all these complaints. Our feedback from our candidates is that there were several EVMs where the battery percentage was about 99%. 99% at 3 p.m. in the evening, in the afternoon, which is very strange. Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. Pawan Khera have extensively spoken about it from the Congress pulpit. We are cataloguing these complaints and we will file a representation with the Election Commission of India. I don't understand. Why are individuals not even allowing us to exercise our legal remedies? We do believe that there is a stark difference between what the vote, what the voice was on the ground and the
You have
results.
approached the Election Commission. Allow me to bring in Yashwant Deshmukh into this conversation. Yashwant Deshmukh from C Voter, till the afternoon you were here with us. You said just wait. It is going to settle down onto the numbers that you've projected. But Yashwant Deshmukh, once again, Haryana has proven to be a googly for most psephologists.
Absolutely.
Same for you again. What went wrong?
Absolutely, it's a googly which we are going to decode a lot. But as I must say, Preeti, that the larger, bigger trends that we spotted in our exit poll in Haryana, that BJP is not losing the vote. In fact, it is increasing the vote. There is a huge swing in favor of the Congress, but that is all coming from the JJP's meltdown and others and regional parties. That Haryana is getting bipolar, others are being squeezed out, and Congress is, along with the CPM, they are likely to poll more votes. Our estimation was 3%, final estimations are coming around 1%. Still, Congress is getting more votes as we are talking, whatever the numbers are. Now, in the first past the post system, the vote share and seat share conversion, that is always a tricky business. And I always maintain that survey science starts and stops at the vote share and the assessment of the issues and what the public is saying and like that. Having said that, there are many more political equations which the data can never capture. Data, for example, can never capture the dear Sayana symptom of many leaders that I will allow my party to win, but I will not allow my party to win such a sweeping majority that the central leadership will replace me.
You're actually hinting that this was an attempt of sabotage by the Congress?
I'm simply saying, I said the same thing about BJP's underwhelming performance in Uttar Pradesh during the Lok Sabha and in Rajasthan. And I am repeating the same thing about the Congress in Haryana today. You ask anybody over there, the kind of emotion that was there for a change, we captured it. There was polarization, we captured it. BJP's vote share was not only intact, it was even after 10 years, it was increasing, we captured it. There was a huge swing for the Congress, we captured it. Decimation of JJP, we captured it. But Congress should have been winning this election.
You're still saying
that?
If not for,
it should have been, but I think they spoilt it themselves with the kind of infighting that was in their camp, with the kind of indifference to the other leaders, other Congress leaders, including Kumari Selja.
Look there at the man on your screen, the smile on his face. Amit Shah, he's back with a bang. What happened in the Lok Sabha elections took the sheen off some of his Chanakya Niti, but he, along with Dharmendra Pradhan and Biplab Dev, were the three people who thought they had Haryana in the bag, even at a time when many in their party thought that Haryana was looking tough. Amit Shah stuck to the script. And Rajat Sethi, when the history of this Haryana election is written, the level of micromanagement, the micro-detailing, which is why Congress representatives who are coming on this show simply can't fathom what has hit them, because this is election management of an epic kind which is delivered on the big stage.
Rahul, I think when the history would be written around, and it is actually, it will start off with this unique reasoning that the Congress has been able to pull out of their hat, which is that there is some issue with the batteries of the EVM, and apparently those batteries were perfectly fine until 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Suddenly some glitch happened in the batteries.
That's a very low-level loser's lament.
But this is what the topmost leadership of the Congress party, these are not like leaders.
But the fact is,
right
if the BJP had to do something like this, they had done it in the Lok Sabha elections, when much more is at stake. Haryana is a small state, relatively speaking. The fact is, you need to look at how the rug has been pulled from below your feet. And the fact is, the Congress had reason for enthusiasm. Their vote share is up 12%, so they could see a certain surge. But what they couldn't see and fathom are the moves being made on the other side of the chessboard by Messrs. Modi and Shah to be able to pull off Haryana. Look at the warmth with which they're being welcomed and received. You know, make no mistake, 2024, June the 4th was a setback, given the fact that they didn't get the kind of numbers they wanted, given the exacting standards they set for themselves. This has turned that round, because now what happens in Maharashtra, speaking to many pundits in Maharashtra, pollsters, political leaders, they say the mahal has changed completely. Earlier, it was the BJP and the Mahayuti that seemed on the defensive and the back foot. Now you've got the BJP saying, "Aao, ab dikhate hain kya hota hai, let there be a dangal in Maharashtra." So the whole narrative changes. The Congress ends up chastened, whether they are or not. I mean, they can keep cribbing about EVMs being fixed or that the EC didn't do its job, but that's really, given what happened in the Lok Sabha, many Congress supporters also unlikely to believe it, because ultimately you need to respect Adil Singh Boparai, that you've been beaten. It was a dangal in Haryana, BJP versus Congress, unlikely as it seemed, and you had Vinesh Fogart fighting for you. You know, it's the match that she had with the Japanese wrestler. Till the end, it seemed that the Japanese wrestler was winning, and in the last 12 seconds, she wasn't. And that's wrestling, that's Vinesh Fogart, that's this verdict.
Kamal Saab, now I'll answer that. I'll answer that head on. We don't shy away from accepting defeat with humility. We don't shy away from that. Having said this, our candidates from the ground are giving us some feedback, and they're saying it based on certain empirical basis. We have a right under law to catalogue all these complaints and to back this up with data and file it with the Election Commission
most
of
certainly,
India.
absolutely, you must.
Now, are we
Nothing
doing
wrong with
anything
that.
when we say this?
No, absolutely nothing wrong with that. You must. But this is like 2014, where in January and 2019, when in January and February, you kept thinking that you were winning and that the BJP was losing. And that is why the Congress ends up being in denial, because you're not close enough to the ground, you're not realizing what's happening, which is how the BJP manages to. But that's the reality, that's what's happened, sir.
All right, but you know, Adil, the fact...
Battery problem reported in Jammu and Kashmir or not, I was just wondering.
But no, one second. Adil, the fact is, it's not, you know, leave alone the issues you reported to the EC. The likes of Kumari Shelja have already come out and said there's something that has gone wrong. Accountability needs to be fixed. Clearly pointing out at the leadership in Haryana. Now, will accountability be fixed? That's the big question, because clearly there seem to be, at least with what your own people are suggesting. This is not us. This is not, you know, the psephologists. Your own people are suggesting internal sabotage.
You know, just to respond to what Kamal Saab has just said, our ear was close to the ground. We ran a very spirited campaign. Our entire cadre, our entire leadership put their heart and soul into this election. And regardless of the result, you can't fault us as far as effort is concerned. Point number one.
Sure.
Point number two, whatever reasons there may be, of course, there will be a post-mortem. We will identify those reasons. But at the same time, we've been given credible feedback by our candidates about certain allegations of subversion. We will catalogue that, we will back it up with empirical data, and we will file it before the appropriate authority.
Well, in the morning there were firecrackers and jalebis at the...
To say that, you know, we are removed from the reality, I think that is unfair.
I've been sitting waiting for
Let Sanju Verma speak.
Yeah, let
Sanju Verma is saying, जो जीते उनको तो बोलने दो. Sanju Verma, Diwali come early for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Where are our jalebis?
You know, you will have to ask for jalebis from Rahul Gandhi, who says that factories में wholesale पे जलेबी तैयार होती है. उनको तो शायद जलेबी और इमरती के बीच का अंतर भी नहीं मालूम. But I don't want to trivialize our victory, our mammoth, gigantic victory, by focusing on Rahul Gandhi. I'm amused, or rather, you know, I'm actually not appalled any longer by the Congress's lame duck excuses. Look at these guys. 8, 9 baje, the likes of Sanjay Jha saying, not 30, not 40, not 50. Congress will win 60 seateं जीतेंगे 6-0. BJP will be routed. There is a tsunami in favor of Congress. और अब इनको देखो कहते हैं भैया ईवीएम की बैटरी काम नहीं कर रही, ईवीएम काम नहीं कर रहा, sabotage हुआ. I remember exactly prior to June 4th, Jairam Ramesh, what did he say in the run-up to the election results coming out? He said Amit Shah has called up 75 DMs and asked them to do falana dhamkina to ensure that the Lok Sabha election results are in BJP's favor. आज तक उन 75 DMs की details जयराम रमेश ने नहीं दी. These guys are a bunch of sore losers. I just want to tell you one thing, Rahul. First and foremost, exit polls have got a nice big fat omelette on their faces. So-called political pundits should hang up their boots. So-called journalists who've been peddling a narrative against Narendra Modi under the garb of being, you know, free and fair journalists, please throw in the towel, hang up your boots. You are well past your expiry date. And I think the people who understand politics know who I'm talking about. But most importantly, the new poster boy of Indian pathology, Yogendra Yadav, जिसने कहा था भारत की राजनीति का लैंडस्केप बदल जाएगा हरियाणा चुनाव के बाद. Yogendra Yadav, अभी तो मानिए that you have a nice big omelette on your face and you failed to call out these elections. And most importantly, these elections were never about Jat versus non-Jat. These elections were never about Dalit versus non-Dalit. These elections were also about the fact that in the last 10 years, from 3.7 lakh crore, Haryana's GDP is today 12.5 lakh crore, up 238%. Did any journalists talk about that? No. These elections are also about the fact that Haryana today has a per capita GDP of 3,28,000. Did any journalists talk about that? No. These elections are also about the fact that Haryana is the second largest exporter of basmati rice.
It's obviously because of some of that that the BJP is itna gussa kyun, Sanju ji? You've just won a remarkable victory. And in fact, the big difference between the Lok Sabha elections...
Hamari victory has been out of syllabus for every political pundit who was advising BJP barely 12 hours back. BJP needs to go back to the drawing board. Modi का जो magic है ना, वो तो अभी decline में आ चुका है. Rahul Gandhi is the next best thing after brown bread. क्या हुआ भाई साहब? Do not write off Narendra Modi because the double engine sarkar.
Do you accept, Adil Singh Boparai, that maybe the Congress got a bit carried away? Given that you ended up with 99 seats, the worth of those 99 seemed almost like 299 from a Congress's perspective. And maybe the party got overconfident. The BJP fought with its back to the wall. They fought hard. They fought a tactical election, which is how they've come up on Trump.
Credit, Rahul. Sometimes don't qualify your statement.
No, one second. Sanju Verma, you had a long run. You've spoken freely and fairly. Give Adil Singh Boparai a chance. I don't know about what the Congress thinks of EVMs, but we'll try and be as fair as possible. Adil Singh Boparai, did the Congress get carried away and overconfident?
No, not at all. Not at all. There was a yearning for the change on the ground. There were agrarian issues. There were issues of unemployment. There was the issues of wrestler protests. So there were real burning issues. Having said this, now let me say this again. I've said this again. The Congress ran a very spirited campaign. However, the BJP tactfully, what they perhaps did was that they started setting up candidates, propping up independent candidates to damage and fragment the vote share. This appears to be
let me give you a figure. Because why is it called a tactical win of the Congress? Let me give you a figure. I had Sanjay Singh on the show just about 20 minutes ago. 4 seats where the Aam Aadmi Party is in the fray. They have polled more than the winning margin of the BJP. Number one, 4 seats there, which was the Aam Aadmi Party, has polled more than the winning margin of the BJP. Number two, 17 seats, Adil Singh Boparai, where you're saying tactically the BJP started putting up candidates. 17 are rebels from the Congress who have gone independent and have harmed you on your very own seats. Whose fault is that, Adil Singh Boparai? 17 of them, rebels from your own party. You couldn't accommodate them because there was so much infighting within your own ranks.
Preeti, we will address all these concerns. We're not shying away from these concerns. We will examine the data, we will see the margins, and we will address this issue. Having said this, the BJP did prop up independence. The BJP propped up independence.
So
they gave them the resources.
Why are you blaming them? Listen, one second. The fact that there are independents who benefit somebody or the other, all parties do that. Why are you blaming the BJP?
Please don't see this as pro-incumbency. Please don't see this as pro-incumbency. Please don't see this as a referendum on BJP's governance. Yes, the BJP tactfully went about setting up candidates to harm our vote share. And as far as our independents are concerned, as far as our ticket distribution is concerned, we will take stock of this.
Listen, it's a wrestling
match. Too late in the day. Too late in the day.
You are allowed a party after 10 years, Rahul, increases the vote share, increases the seat share. If that is not pro-incumbency, we need to find a new definition for pro-incumbency.
No, but I have a larger question. Is the very nature of Haryana politics now changing? You know, till this morning, Yogendra Yadav was calling the BJP an inorganic force in Haryana. The moment you go from 37 to 40, you've smashed the third and the fourth force. And you've made it bipolar between the Congress and the BJP, changing forever the nature of Haryana politics. Can these third,
the
fourth forces
problem, Rahul, is not just about Haryana. Problem is that I genuinely believe a lot of many of our friends have over-analyzed the 2024 Lok Sabha verdict. They have read a bit too much which wasn't there to be read. And this inorganic and organic sector things, I think one has to go, if somebody is looking into those kind of statements and like that, I genuinely believe that the 240 and 99, and I was reading Pratap Bhanu Mehta just now and he is exactly written the same line in that way, that one has to go back to the drawing board in order to reassess what the mandate was all about. Rather than getting carried away with 99 seats and 240 seats.
Amitabh Tiwari, what impact does this have on the battle in Maharashtra? You come from Mumbai, that's the next big battle.
See, I think even there, if you see, the MVA has not yet finalized its seat distribution. There seems to be overconfidence creeping in there as well because they have done their well.
That should hopefully change.
Now that will change. And even the bargaining power of Congress, because Shiv Sena has been battling for Uddhav to be named as the CM face. That's number one. And is also demanding an equal number of seats. But Congress wants to fight at least 115 seats as per reports. It fought 150, the higher number of seats. But after this, I think the allies, which is NCP Sharad Pawar and Shiv Sena Uddhav Bala Sahab Thackeray, they will now have a hard bargaining with the Congress for a higher number of seats.
No, and it also shows, Adil Singh Boparai, you're talking about tactics by the BJP, but look at the absence of tactics and stratagem by the Congress. If you'd allied, for example, with the Aam Aadmi Party, 4 seats straight up, BJP coming down 4, the Congress going up 4, so you're at 41, the BJP comes down closer to the halfway mark. So if they had good tactics, frankly, despite Rahul Gandhi telling the party leadership in Haryana that do this alliance with the AAP, you couldn't get it done, and those are the kind of tactics that have harmed you.
Rahulji, I started off by saying that the results are very shocking and surprising for us. We did not expect these results. And I'm saying this for the 10th time, the voice from the ground was a voice for change. Now, how this happened has to be analyzed very closely. Yes, there are factors. There is a factor of independence. There is a factor of polarization. There is perhaps a factor of ticket distribution. All this will be assessed. But I again reiterate, there was
all of this underlines one thing, and that is the factor of overconfidence. Adil, I'll tell you what, you say you ran a cohesive campaign. If they were your own rebels facing off against you, you thought that this campaign would be so intensely bipolar that they'll fall by the wayside, that the Aam Aadmi Party will fall by the wayside. In Ahirwal Belt, the Samajwadi Party wanted some seats off you. You thought, why give it to them? They have no ground in the state of Haryana. All of this points towards only one factor, and that is overconfidence, Adil. But Adil, just give me a minute. I want to bring in Yashwant Deshmukh into this conversation, because taking off from what Rahul was saying, Yashwant, the sheer fact is that the Bharatiya Janata Party has broken the mold on what was the traditional form of politics in Haryana. And now I think Congress from here on needs to do the same. Do you see this as a decisive end of the pro-Jat politics, which at least the Congress had to run, post the 2009 era?
6th of June onwards, what have you seen is a continuation of a brand of politics from the Congress, which leads the Congress into the regional parties' mandalization kind of branding politics.
I've just received word the Prime Minister is about to reach the BJP headquarters, and spend a moment, because, whether it is Yogendra Yadav, many in the Congress, they were all set to write the political obituary of the Prime Minister, that his brand is in secular decline, that 2029 is a done deal, that Rahul Gandhi will likely be the next Prime Minister, and that the Modi era was coming to an end. Haryana upends all those calculations, because if after 10 years of being in power, despite facing stiff anti-incumbency, the BJP can still find a way of besting the Congress, then brand Modi is alive and kicking,
in fact,
and how?
Even more troublesome, Rahul, because he also said that this was an election where Modi was not invested. So if BJP could manage this win purely from the organizational strength, and Modi was not invested, and you have given away a certain victory, turning into a defeat due to your internal issues, I mean, that doesn't sound well.
What does this mean, Rajat, for brand Modi?
See, this is where the maximum attacks on Prime Minister Modi was done, be it his handling of army issues or be it his handling of the armed forces recruitment, all of that.
No, and they won despite sticking to their guns on Agniveer.
So this is what I'm saying, that all the economic policy issues that he was targeted around, Congress was presuming that this would cast a big hole in Jammu, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttarakhand, Himachal, all of this belt. Perhaps this is where, their calculations went absolutely wrong. I think they believe that all of these...
And they are trying to reinvent Congress on the mandal lines. Now, if you reinvent Congress on the mandal lines, the first thing that is going to happen, your own alliance partners...
One second. If he was such a big vote catcher, why was the Prime Minister restricted to just 3 or 4 rallies? He stayed away. He stayed away so that the election could have been fought on a very different tactical local level.
I don't think... it was Congress's election to win. They were supposed to make this into a wave election, picking up these issues. And I think BJP said that, this is what our economic policies are. We lay it forward.
No, but they stuck to their guns. Remember, if the BJP had lost, the Congress and its ecosystem would have been saying, the Kisans of Haryana have beaten the BJP. And we were promising legally guaranteed...
Kisan and Jawan, both the things.
If I can be allowed to complete. So the Kisans have beaten the BJP. Then they would have said the Jawans are unhappy because of Agniveer. Remember, despite the tremendous pressure, the BJP did not backtrack on the issue of Agniveer. Then there was the question of
In Haryana, they did backtrack, Rahul. They did backtrack.
Not really. They haven't changed the Agniveer scheme.
Of course they did. Where Haryana is concerned,
the Agniveer scheme.
No, they did not change it.
They haven't changed the Agniveer scheme. They've ensured that there can be some hirings, which is different from changing the Agniveer scheme, which is what the Congress was demanding. So make no mistake, that triangular plank which was being stitched by the Congress, that plank, the tripod has come apart, and that is to the BJP's credit. They've been able to pull this off despite really fighting this battle with their backs against the wall. Yashwant Deshmukh, what does this mean for Maharashtra and Jharkhand?
Well, it means BJP is back in the game. We say a week is a long time in politics. 2 hours is a long time in politics. 9 o'clock this morning, you would have asked me this question, and 11 o'clock, there would be 2 different answers. For a simple reason, again, that we have to go back to the drawing board and reread the 2024 Lok Sabha mandate. Because this Kisan issue, this Jawan issue, the answers were there. If Jawan was an issue, BJP would not have won 5 out of 5 in Uttarakhand and 4 out of 4 in Himachal Pradesh. If Kisan was not, it would have been an issue, BJP would not have won almost 60 to 70% of the rural seats in this country, where bottom of the pyramid Kisans live. So obviously something was pulled out of proportion. Let the Congress to believe these are the real things and this is what is going to happen.
It also restores some self-belief with the Prime Minister, because he came under pressure on the issue of freebies, where people after June the 4th told him that, you have to be accommodative, you can't be so long-term, we have to fight this battle here and now. This 2047 is okay, but let's fight tomorrow's battle. And to some extent, he kind of stuck to his guns, but to some extent his belief wavered. Rajat, this kind of answers that question, that on the issue of farmers, he hasn't promised legally guaranteed MSP. He didn't come under pressure. He didn't take Agniveer back.
Exactly.
Making some minor accommodation on the ground in terms of local recruitment, which has happened elsewhere, is not the same thing as taking Agniveer back. So he stuck to his guns and come up on top.
I think what he did was he realized that it is not just a policy problem. The problem that he was facing was his cadres not getting activated, or perhaps the RSS not coming in full swing. Now the reports are unfolding. I mean, our Twitter feeds are full of the reports. There were more than 16,000 meetings done by the RSS. There were so much amount of Samanvay Baithaks, coordination meetings. They went door-to-door campaigns were done by the RSS cadres instead of the BJP cadres. So this reintroduction of the RSS post, their shying out of the 2024 election has also helped. At the end of the day, it's about knocking every door, and with a folded hand requesting for votes. Nothing works better than a simple admission of folded hands request.
And this is the second time that this has happened, after Chhattisgarh, where the Congress thought, and even Madhya Pradesh for that matter.
Third time after Chhattisgarh and
Madhya Pradesh, and now in Haryana, where the Congress was certain that they were winning. But, it just means that it's a competitive election. It means that you have a chance to win. It doesn't mean that you're winning. And remember, in Karnataka, where the BJP lost, the BJP state machinery is much weaker than it is in a Chhattisgarh or in a Madhya Pradesh and Haryana. It really makes the Congress pull its hair apart, because if they can't win in Haryana with this kind of anti-incumbency, then where it is a tougher battle, take for example Bihar, where does that leave the Congress? That's a very big problem. What does this mean, Sanju Verma, for brand Modi, and you yourself are in Maharashtra? What impact do you think this could have on the big battle in Maharashtra next?
Rahul, first on a lighter note, you asked me, Sanju Verma, why are you so angry?
Yes.
I'm sitting in the US, I've come here for higher studies, and I've been up
What
all
are you
night.
studying, Sanju ji?
Yes. So the victory is so much sweeter. Now that I see it unfolding, and I'm on one of my favorite channels, Rahul Kanwal was perhaps one of the few sane voices who did not outright say कि भाई Modi wave khatam hai or Rahul Gandhi is the next best thing after brown bread. But be that as it may, what does this mean for brand Modi? I'm going to sound a bit cliched, but I'll say this. वो जो कहावत है in cricketing terminology, form is temporary but class is permanent. I think when it comes to Narendra Modi, you cannot write him off, and you write him off only at your own risk. Because I remember very clearly, he takes the toughest decisions when he has his back to the wall. I remember the assembly elections of 2020 in Bihar, when BJP got a drubbing. And the biggest reforms in terms of opening up foreign direct investment to railways, defense, retail happened within 48 hours of BJP getting a drubbing in the Bihar assembly elections. Now, post Karnataka, people wrote off the BJP, saying Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh mein to inka supra saaf hone wala hai. But we went back to the drawing board and we actually introspected. Let me tell you, we introspect when we win. We decide, अरे भाई मार्जिन इतनी कम क्यों है, मार्जिन तो और ज्यादा एक्सपैंड होनी चाहिए थी. और जब हारते हैं तब तो हम इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करते ही हैं. But I am reminded of what JP Nadda said to us a couple of weeks back. कांग्रेस का वो हाल है, कहीं की कहीं का रोड़ा, कहीं की ईट, भानुमति ने कुनबा जोड़ा. The only party जिसके पास सही नेतृत्व है, सही नीति है, सही नियत है और कार्यकर्ता है, that is BJP. We are a machinery. We are an election winning behemoth. All that is fine. But at the end of the day, don't forget that yes, RSS did conduct, as Rajat said, 16,000 odd meetings. But with no offense, even Rajat and Yashwant Deshmukh had completely written off the BJP till about 48 hours back. So this has caught everybody by surprise. It has not caught BJP spokespersons by surprise because we were being ridiculed till about 24 hours back. Yesterday, I was on another channel and when I said Haryana will be the new Chhattisgarh, anchor हंसने लगा. कहने लगा भाई आप तो हमेशा ही सुपर कॉन्फिडेंट, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट रहते हैं, आप जैसे प्रवक्ताओं के कारण बीजेपी हारती है. तो मैं आज पूछना चाहती हूँ थ्रू राहुल कंवल एंड प्रीति चौधरी शो, भाई हम जैसे प्रवक्ता है ना, इसलिए बीजेपी में छोटा सा योगदान हमारा भी है इन द लार्जर स्कीम ऑफ.
संजू वर्मा, was this a veiled jibe at Rajat Sethi? Was this a veiled jibe at Rajat Sethi?
No. This was not at Rajat. This was at an anchor. So,
okay, the stage is set for Prime Minister Modi to do a victory lap. So much has been done and said to try and pin him down, to try and make it seem as if his time was ending. As he has so often in his political career, Prime Minister Modi has confounded his critics and delighted his supporters, managing to pull off a victory in Haryana, which really will go down in modern political history as one of the most remarkable victories for a party twice over in power, up against the wall, facing anti-incumbency, having had to change its chief minister and yet finding a way of coming back. And suddenly what earlier seemed to be ineffectual, Amitabh Tiwari, seems like a masterstroke. Making Nayab Saini chief minister, comes from the second most populous community. So you've got the Sainis on your side, you've been able to build a non-Jat coalition and you've done enough election engineering to find a way of, like, think of it as a tough cricket match. You're facing a tough pitch, you have a good opposition, and yet you find a way to win. That's what politics and cricket is all about.
Yeah, essentially, if you see, BJP has changed chief ministers 5 times. 4 out of 5 times they've won. So they acknowledged that there was a problem. They made an OBC face the chief minister. And the Sani community, they have 5 to 10,000 votes across the state in each seat. So that became a game changer, it seems. And what also happened is that for any political party to win, like see, all surveys were showing that BJP is at 37 or will be at 37, which means that they were holding on to the vote share. For any number 2 party to win theoretically without making a dent in the number 1 party vote share, it is very, very difficult to win. Congress aggregated the vote share from others and independents like it happened.
Do we know where the BJP gained this 3% vote share, Yashwant?
I think it is coming from JJP, partly from JJP.
Partly, but largely speaking, it is a vote share which is increasing from the non-Jat OBCs. Largely speaking. But what Amitabh is saying, I would just add to that point that, there is now a string of state where the BJP has challenged the traditional equation of one caste or one social configured equation which has been there for 50, 60
Jat
years.
Politics in Haryana after this is over.
Yeah, this is over.
It's over.
I think also that like in Delhi or many other states where even after losing the assembly election, we have seen BJP has polled minimum 36, 37% votes. Haryana has become one of those states where no matter what the future elections are going to do or say, there would be about 40% vote.
BJP it's cultivated its vote bank and they're going to stay.
So it's not the 10 years politics in Haryana. It has BJP
now
has
the Congress will need to change its politics around the BJP to make sure it's not being looked as a Jat versus others.
And why I was saying, Rahul, to you earlier about this thing, precisely what has happened in, you see, Congress tried to become the Jat party of Haryana.
Which it wasn't to begin with.
It wasn't to begin with. It was the Chhattis Biradari ki party. Then it tried to become a Jat party of Haryana because it felt very smartly that, okay, this is a space which is being left out by the INLD and the JJP and let's try and do that. And they just did sleepwalking into that project.
This This is the stage set at the BJP headquarters. Deepavali come early for the BJP, a massive confidence booster ahead of Maharashtra and Jharkhand, because it's not just what your big guns are thinking and feeling. They'll always try and find, the top management will always try and find a way of winning. But the man on the ground, the boots on the street, the moment they feel enthused, as they will after this historic victory in Haryana, Rajat, that has a spiral effect, because suddenly in the small villages of Vidarbha and Marathwada, the BJP Karyakarta will walk with an extra swagger. If we can win Haryana, we can win Maharashtra.
More than the Karyakartas, it is the leaders. For the past 2 weeks, we were seeing that a lot of BJP leaders also, by the way, not just the Shinde or the Ajit Pawar leaders, but the BJP leaders too were shifting.
No, but can I say, even in Haryana, no matter who says what, I know top leaders of the BJP, except just a few, were saying, "Yaar, mushkil hi hai, lag raha hai, matlab nahi."
They were
talking about respectable numbers.
25 to 28 was their figure.
Fallen for any kind of a hubris. So what did BJP do correct was ensuring that the task that was cut out for each Karyakarta, they did that limited work without focusing on the larger picture. Everybody did their work to the T. RSS helped, BJP helped. They did not worry about the larger narrative gone wrong. But it is true that the larger narrative confused even the senior leaders of the BJP. That is absolutely true. There is, but the Maharashtra election, it is going to put a stop to this movement of leaders that was happening. We were seeing all kinds of potential candidates leaving
I think the system has been
into the MVA.
Right.
That's going to stop. That's a big
it can have another effect. One is you're just assuming that the BJP gets some energy. The Congress has some good sense knocked into it, and the MVA. True. And that they actually, you basically punch to your weight. The Congress with 99 seats was wanting to punch above its weight. Isko ban kar do, usko hata do, isko aisa kar do, isko ukhad denge, isko ping. Look at the kind of hubris we saw from some of the Congress leaders. They come down to Mother Earth and they realize that,
wake up call for the Congress.
We only are at 99 seats. They're still 2.5 times us. And that's the political reality, and you act as per your actual political weight. A bantamweight boxer doesn't start thinking of himself as a super heavyweight champion.
And I think this is where the MBA talks were not even reaching to any conclusion, because Congress was literally doing walkouts of every meeting. They were like, we are the big boss here in Maharashtra and we are going to do everything. They don't realize that it is the other parties also which helped them catapult.
No, but also the casual approach of Rahul Gandhi. He asked for an alliance in Haryana, went off to the United States for his sojourn, and at the back, his own leaders sabotage his plan, and there was no alliance. So ultimately, should Adil Boparai, Rahul Gandhi have put his foot down, because he potentially sensed that an alliance with the AAP would be useful, and yet the local leaders... Okay, so we're seeing these images. The Prime Minister about to arrive, Amit Shah. Look at him smile. I've had a few occasions when I've met him after the Lok Sabha election. I don't think I've seen him as comfortable, smiling. He's delighted, as he should be. This is a historic victory. There are a few stories, for example, 2017 Gujarat, where again it looked very difficult because the Congress was putting up a spirited fight, and yet Amit Shah was able to do enough on the ground to ensure that despite the polls showing that the BJP was trailing, in the end they didn't. That requires election management of a very epic kind, a brand that had taken a bit of a hit in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. That brand now, once again, shining extremely brightly. They'd have a very good Deepavali this year. So you got Nadda ji, who's gone out, and remember, spare a moment for him as well. His presidency is coming to an end. What he would have never wanted is to lose Haryana. That's Vinod Tavade, General Secretary of the BJP, comes from the state of Maharashtra, will have a very important role to play in what happens in the Maharashtra Assembly elections from here on. So we've got the Prime Minister now who will be received by JP Nadda. I was talking about Nadda ji. He obviously didn't want his presidency to end with multiple failures, right? If they'd lost Haryana, lost Maharashtra, tough fight in Jharkhand, it would have been good. At least now he's feeling happy. You want to leave the baton to the next president with some victories. That's Amitabh Tiwari, human nature.
The wrestling man, the animation that was going on, it would be going right for it.
And everybody wants to end on a happy note, correct? And this acts as a stimulus for the BJP cadre as well as senior leaders. I think in terms of media narrative, they had clearly lost the media narrative for Haryana, correct? And even they seem to be on a back foot in Maharashtra and Jharkhand going forward.
No, but it also shows
change the things.
The limitation of this narrative.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It
didn't matter to Congress and to Rahul Gandhi in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, but the narrative was the narrative in Haryana didn't matter to the verdict.
Rahul, there are two major components of the election victory. One is the leadership and the popularity, that is important. Another one is the organizational structure. I think Congress has to go back to their drawing board in that way.
But focus less on Hawabazi and focus more on
organizational structure. Because when I was mentioning,
when
I was mentioning that, it's the default party whenever the BJP goes down. But at the same time, this election also proves election results are not going to come your way by default. Even if you are a default party, anti-incumbency mandates are not going to come your way by default. You have to reignite your organizational structure and everything to do
but they tried. That's the problem from the Congress's perspective. It's not like they didn't try. In Gujarat 2022, they frankly didn't try. It was a very dispirited campaign. The problem for the Congress here is they tried. They had a leader, they had a structure, they had a campaign. They did everything they could, and yet they've got defeated. That is when it is more worrisome. If you don't try and you lose, okay, we didn't try hard enough. If you try, you throw everything you've got, and yet you come up against this massive machine that bests you, that's when there is a problem.
I think, BJP, the bench strength of BJP is so strong that you have these individual leaders and their replacements pretty much intact, that no matter what goes wrong, these people will be able to have, enough bench strength of their workers to go and knock at every door. And also very basic things like knocking at every door actually have 2 to 3% swing. You go out and see galti ho gayi, maaf kariye, aage se nahi hogi.
I agree with your point on the RSS thing, because, after the Lok Sabha election result, they also did a reboot, because they were upset, they did some things and they were not really actively participating. But nobody among them probably wanted a repetition of 2004.
Aam Aadmi Party has broken its silence on this verdict. As the Prime Minister walks in, I'll take you through what Raghav Chadha has tweeted. हमारी आरज़ू की फिक्र करते तो कुछ और बात होती, हमारी हसरत का ख्याल रखते तो एक अलग शाम होती, आज वो भी पछता रहा होगा मेरा साथ छोड़कर, अगर साथ साथ चलते तो कुछ और बात होती.